Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy third Friday of Advent to all of you. Yeah, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It is starting to feel.
It is starting to feel a little bit like Christmas. Cold weather, the whole deal. Yeah, things are moving right along here. So we had some awesome Advent events last weekend. So Thursday night we had the Advent by candlelight. We had an awesome turnout for that. And then Advent by taillight on Friday, another great turnout for the men of our parish. So thank you to everybody who helped out with that, volunteered for those events, and for everybody who came. It was a great time.
And the Knights of Columbus are grateful for all the coats between the Knights of Columbus and then Saints Peter and Paul Ministry. We are a huge, sounds like Burlington coat factory.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I actually, I didn't take anything, but looking at some of the coats in the boxes, these are pretty good.
Yeah, they're very nice coats.
Yeah, usually I would have donated like my coats from the 70s if I had any.
Right.
People are really
like
thoughtful.
Your denim
monstrosity. No, well, that's a family heirloom. That will never. That's my dad's. It will never leave the Schrader house.
Okay.
Although my dad did require that he be buried in it, so that one day. No, I'm serious.
He wants to be buried in that thing?
Yes. Yeah. For those that don't know, I wore it last year. I think it was part of a homily.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it around this time of year?
Yeah, I think it was. It's basically almost like a full length denim jacket with frill or fringes and buttons.
It's something.
Yeah, it's one of a kind.
Something.
Yeah. Anyhow, we're getting a little.
Sorry, getting a little.
And then coffee with the clergy.
Yeah,
we
awesome
welcomed new parishioners Tom and Karen Mickus and Jim and Jean Timmerman. So it's been great. Just a lot of life here at Incarnate Word.
Yeah, absolutely. So this weekend is the seminary appeal. So Deacon Kornstrom will be getting up and talking about Kenrick Lennon Seminary and the wonderful work that they're doing there. We traditionally support the seminary through a second collection on Christmas Day. So at all the masses at Christmas, we'll have a second collection for the seminary. We encourage you to be generous if you're able, because our seminary is very important and it helps form the next generation of priests for our archdiocese. So Deacon Kornstrom will be talking about that at all the masses this weekend.
Yeah, and it's great because we have our seminary in our diocese. Right. A lot of dioceses have to go away. So our men who are formed as priests, they kind of do so within the place they're going to serve, which is a great gift.
And we're also grateful that starting this weekend, our seminarian Sam Gerbic will be living with us. Mm-hmm. He's from Incarnate Word. He's studying for the archdiocese, and his Christmas break starts tomorrow morning, so he'll be living with us over Christmas break, so you might see him around as well.
Pray for him.
Yeah, pray for him, living with us. But it should be a great time, and we're just very grateful that our seminarians are giving of themselves in service of the church and just sort of surrendering their lives to God's will and the discernment of themselves in the church. So
yeah. And then the Feeding Our Neighbors in Need will be this weekend, and if you can, because we have a lot of people going back and forth, the bins are always, when you walk in the main doors, head to the left towards the side entrance of church, over by the Mother Teresa room or over by the elevator that goes down into Bollinger Hall. There's two big metal bins there. If you can put your donations there. I know sometimes people leave them right inside the main doors. They just end up kind of being in the way. So if you need help bringing your donation over there, maybe it's we're happy, me or Father Schneier or the hospitality ministers, we'll be happy to kind of take it from there. But if you can, the bins over by the left side of the lobby, we ask you to put your donations there, and thank you for your generosity.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, next weekend, there's going to be a lot of people coming around on campus, so we encourage everybody to, first of all, put our best foot forward as a parish. We've got a lot of things, the Christmas decorations will be going up this week. We've got a new TV out in the gathering area for any overflow that people can watch the Mass from there. The Mother Teresa room, our nursery's gotten a refresh this year. So we just hope that everybody can kind of put their best foot forward as we're welcoming a lot of people onto our campus who maybe aren't here for most of the year. And we just encourage folks to, just to take the lead on that, to be the ones to welcome, to be the ones to introduce, to be the ones to invite. Everything from just smiling, and if you see somebody you don't know, welcome them to Mass. Physically talk to a human. Shake their hand and say, welcome, good to have you here. What's your name? Tell me about yourself. Conversation skills. Yeah. But this is so important. This is the beginnings of evangelization. It just starts with an invitation. It starts with a welcome. So even considering like sitting in the middle of the pew rather than on the very end so that people can very easily get in and not feel like they're having to go over anybody, or where we park. If you're able to, maybe take a farther parking spot and on the lot. So
yeah. No, it's kind of Christmas is a good opportunity to practice. Like if I was new or this was the first time in a long time or first time ever coming to a church, what would I want people to do for me? You know, I would want them to appear friendly, to welcome me, to maybe not make it difficult. I've seen things, this happens all the time at Christmas and Easter, where I'll see someone sitting on the first spot inside in the pew, and they will make everyone crawl over them. It's like, I'm not moving.
Yeah, not great.
Do you have to? No, but these are like little things we can do just to welcome people and to make a little bit easier for them to come to Mass. So we're just, I think every year we hear, Father, if all these people would show up, every week, we know that. But let's not dwell on those things, but welcome others. And, Christmas is a great time to not repeat the behavior that Joseph and Mary felt when they were looking for room at the inn. So,
and I'll even add, like, middle of the pew, it's not like the middle seat in an airplane. Like, it's not that bad. Like, hey, we can take the middle seat in the pew. We don't have to have a window seat or an aisle seat. Just go to the middle and make it easy for everybody. So
I forget what I was reading another parish bulletin, and they said explicitly in the pastor's column, he said that 10 minutes before all the Christmas masses, all pews are open. Like you can't hold. No, it was just funny because we all know every Christmas the same things happen.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is what it is. But anyway, we just encourage you to put your best foot forward on behalf of our parish, because we want to make our Christmas masses as inviting and as welcoming as we can for folks that might not be here often. And who knows, it might spark their interest in the Catholic faith and help them further on that path of evangelization. So that's what we're all about.
Great. So we've had a number of people pass away. Lou Herbert, her memorial mass will be held December 21st, which is this coming Wednesday. And that'll be, is that at 10 a.m.?
It's a 10 o'clock mass,
and there will be a luncheon afterwards. Her family would love for the parishioners that knew her and prayed with her to be present for that. And then Matthew O'Neill, who's the son of Pat and Jennifer, his funeral will be Monday at 10. We also pray for Denise Werdak, the mother of Debbie Becker, and Michael Dietz, brother of Sue Smythe. So we pray for all those who have died, especially for these members of our parish and their families, especially at holidays. Especially
not an easy time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. We've also had a few baptisms. Miles Cruz, child of David and Jenna. Oliver Swakis, child of Thomas and Kirsten. And John Sinocrack.
Yeah, my nephew.
Oh, your nephew.
Yeah, child of Matthew and Michelle.
Matthew and Michelle.
Jack Sinocrack is how, Jack Michael, but he's a good little kid.
Cool.
Yeah, he was not a problem. And then we had 4 First Communions last week.
Pretty awesome.
Jack and Charlie Klein and Cora Griffin and Sammy Patel.
So congratulations to all of them. Again, we've got a lot of people, a lot of our RCIC students making first sacraments over the course of the next few weeks. So congratulations to them and to their families.
All right, and then the readings.
Readings this weekend. The gospel is the sort of Joseph's annunciation, so to speak. It's him being informed about Mary being with child, and it happens through a dream. I'm going to kind of talk about the virtue of docility. Joseph, of course, demonstrated it so well by, he had all the intentions of divorcing Mary quietly and just going about his life. And yet when God put this into his heart and into his life, he got up and did as the angel of the Lord asked him to do. And even Mary, her docility, let it be done to me according to thy word. It's so important that we be docile to God. And really, docility is an acknowledgement that our lives are on God's terms, not ours. So often we want it to be on God's terms. We want to set all the parameters of life, and yet it's God that does those things, and we have to be humble and docile in order to go along with that, or else we're not going to be able to receive what God wants us to receive. And I also think of even Jesus as a child. He had to learn to be docile, not in the sense that he was rebellious and wasn't, but he had to see it in order to do it himself. He had to see it put into practice in order to know what it meant to be docile. And obviously the instant he saw it, he was. But he had to first be given that example. And that example came from Mary and Joseph. So even just Jesus's docility that we see all the way up to the Garden of Gethsemane. Father, not my will, but your will be done. That started somewhere. And it started from the example of Mary and Joseph and their docility to God in their own home life and their individual lives too. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. Preparing for Jesus means being docile to him.
Yeah, and I'm not preaching this weekend, Deacon Kornstrom is, but I think, honestly, the most blessed moments and things in my life are the ones that I would never have chosen for myself.
Sure.
But that God said, I have something else for you. And even when I talk to some of our families, and they maybe talk about when they were blessed with a child they weren't expecting, or maybe sort of wasn't in the plan, and then when they look back and say how impoverished our lives would have been without that child. And as a priest, I would say that's that way with our assignments.
Sure.
A lot of times assignments are not what you plan or even what you want, and then God says, but I'm going to bless you. So yeah, Joseph's a great example.
I've got a few friends from a few years ago. They had 3 little ones and they were going for a 4th, and then God's like, hey, I want you to have twins. And they initially they're just like, you've got to be kidding me. But they are just an amazing family, and the twin girls are a hoot and a holler. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you want God to laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah.
And he'll provide you with things you could have never imagined. So
yeah, and I think Joseph would tell all of us, especially as like first world type A Christians, who are always trying to boss God around, is let God lead you and let him not just lead you but bless you, because a lot of times we limit how God can bless us.
Sure.
And Joseph shows us how to let God take over and blow that up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks. That's about all we got.
Yeah, and look ahead. We always, the 4 p.m. is a madhouse.
It is.
Some people enjoy that, but I'm just partial to the 6 p.m. because
6 p.m. folks is like a stealth underrated mass.
Yeah.
A majorly underrated mass.
Yeah.
You can still go get dinner afterward. I'm going to go to my parents' house and have dinner over there afterward.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're having to beat someone with a tire iron just to get a spot.
You probably have more charitable thoughts toward your fellow parishioners in the parking lot. 6 o'clock is a stealth underrated mass.
But we have 4, 6,
we do.
And
4,
10
6,
p.m.
and 10.
Christmas Eve.
And then 8:45, 10:30, and 12:15 on Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. So 6 masses for your worshiping pleasure.
Yes.
And yeah,
we can't wait to see you.
We cannot wait to see you next weekend. But anyway, hope you have a wonderful day. Stay warm out there because it's getting chilly. Mm-hmm. Anyway, hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Look forward to seeing you here this weekend for the 4th Sunday of Advent.
God bless.
God bless.